everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry I've been so quiet on YouTube lately. It's just been quite busy teaching classes in January, but we're getting into a little quieter time now in February, and I'm able to give you a little bit of a video to keep you going over your midterm break. So get yourselves out on your mat and let's get started. The start of today's practice, really, you can take it in sitting or kneeling, whatever way you'd like. But you'll just begin to warm up your wrist joints a little bit, so it's particularly important if you have been working at a computer or at a desk or even just driving. It's really all about just gentle movement through the wrists, through the fingers. That'll start you off. Shoulders can get a good old stretch anyway at all by just lifting your arms up, tilting yourself over to the side, and then do the exact same on the other side. You can always take a big deep breath at the end of any movement just to really warm you up through. So take the arms then behind your back, ow, and take your hands all the way up away from your spine. That'll do the trick. And then shake out the hands, perfect. Get into all fours, cat-cow position. So with your hands under the shoulders, your knees under your hips, we'll just take a few little inhale and exhale. That way we just get our spine into a nice, I suppose, fluid position where you make the most of your flexion and extension with your breath. And it's a nice unloaded position. I'm going to bring you right round now. Kneeling, shaking out the shoulders a little bit more. Just stretch out your left leg as far out as you physically can and just point the toes directly to the long end of the mat there. Let's take the right hand down and reach the left arm all the way up and over. It's a big side body stretch. If you take a nice deep breath in here at this stage, you'll really begin to stretch out the left side of your body. We'll do the exact same on the other side, but slowly bring yourself up. Take your hands onto your hips, and even holding that position there can be a gentle stretch out for your groin on that side. So we'll do the exact same opposite side. Let's take out the right leg, left arm down, right arm up and over. And we get a nice deep breath into the right side body as we do that as well. Again, taking yourself back nice and slowly, just to get a handy little groin stretch on that side before you move any further with that one. So that's as easy as that. Let's come back to all fours again. And once in all fours, an inhale up and an exhale down. Really making the most of your movement there to get yourself out of whatever seated position you've been in for your day with work, or maybe it's just been driving, whatever it's been. Loosen out, that's the key to it all. Now, I still have my socks on because I'm outdoors and it's not particularly warm yet, so I'll just whip those off and then we can get into standing. Give your feet a little bit of a wiggle around, get them moving. I recommend a lot in my classes, if you can grab onto your toes at some point at the start of the class, picking up even the big toe and just moving it up and down, and then side to side, and then do plenty circles with it. Do that on the exact same side, or other side should I say, of each toe. Try and grab every one of them and get them all moving individually. Separate them from each other. They're so used to being cramped up together that it's a great idea just to dig into all of them and get them mobilizing. Opposite foot, do the trick. All the little toes, wiggling them around, and then you're just getting onto the ball of the foot. You're nearly looking for little clicks and cracks just to release out little bits of tension. Easy as that. Bring yourself all the way up. If you've got two little blocks, use them. If not, just put a small little chair or something beside you. That'll do the trick as well. So my feet are hip distance apart, my blocks hip distance apart, and that's just two of my fists between the two. All I'd like you to do now is inhale, reach yourself up, and exhale, bend down to touch those two blocks. On an inhale, lift your hips high. On an exhale, lower the hips. All we're working on here is stretching out our hamstrings. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift again, and exhale, lower. You're going to do a couple of these. You can pause the video at any stage just to do a few more than what I'm doing here now. Really good way to get a good bit of flexibility moving through the backs of the hamstrings there. What I'll get you to do then is take your right leg behind, drop down your right knee and bring your hands all the way up through here into your heart center. Perfect opportunity here to get a good hip flexor stretch here on the back leg. If you tuck down your tailbone, lengthening it to the floor, draw up your pubic bone towards your belly button and float your arms all the way up on an inhale. The front of the right hip will get a really nice stretch out. We can move that to the outside of the right hip by tilting our upper body to the left. Take a nice deep breath in there, keeping the tailbone tucked down. So that's that area. And then come all the way back up again, hands into your heart center. We're moving it into warrior two. Straighten out the back leg. Keep the front knee directly over the front ankle. And again, to get a little bit more core strength here, if you tuck down your tailbone towards the ground and draw your pubic bone up to your belly button, you're going to get a lot more for your money. You're going to get not only leg strength, but you're building on your core strength as well. Try and keep the back arm as high as the front arm. And breathe. Let's reverse our warrior two here. Take the right hand, back hand to the back leg. Front arm can reach all the way up and you can look at that hand if you like. Otherwise you can keep your gaze anywhere you want really, but if you look up you'll challenge your balance just that little bit more. Lengthen and reach with that left hand. We'll move our stretch now into an extended side angle pose where we take our left elbow to the left thigh. Right arm floats up and overhead. We can draw the shoulder blades back to meet each other behind your back and push a lot of energy into that back leg, that supporting leg. If we want to deepen our stretch a little, take one of your blocks and put it on the inside there of the ankle. It's a nice safe way just to get a little lower in that stretch. Breathe here. Let's windmill ourselves back up to warrior two, and we can stand up at the front of the mat again. Inhale the arms up. We'll do all that on the other side. Exhale the arms down. So first the hamstrings again. We lift our hips up on an inhale and slowly down on an exhale. Up on an inhale and slowly down on an exhale. And I'd like you to stay doing that for a few breaths. I'm just going to change my position here so you'll be able to see me do the other side along there. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Exhale, lowering down. Keep the head and neck relaxed. And then we'll take our left leg back. Drop down our left knee and bring your hands into your heart center. Again, if we want to work a little bit more of a stretch into the front of the left hip here, drive the tailbone down towards the ground while you draw the pubic bone to your belly button. Your back foot there can be curled under or pointed away. Inhale the arms up. Breathe. Press the left knee down. The back leg pushing firmly down into the mat will help. And if you tilt right now in this instance, you're going to develop that stretch across from the front of the hip into the outer hip and even the whole way through the side of your body. You can then take your hands back into your heart center. We'll aim for warrior two. That's just coming up off your back leg, strong back leg. And your front knee is over the front ankle now. Two arms are strong and long and the shoulders are away from our ears as we keep our gaze over the right hand. Every so often you do need to monitor the back arm to make sure it's not hanging low. We can reverse our warrior, taking the back hand, left hand to the back leg as we slide the front arm all the way up. You can look up at that front hand, keep it strong, not limp, really, really strong and effective. We'll take that down to our extended side angle pose as we float our left arm all the way up and over. The right elbow on the right thigh, palm facing up is a good strong position. If you take your breath really deeply now in through the left side of the body and we deepen our stretch, if we'd like to, you can take that block to the inner right ankle and breathe and enjoy it. Just a bit of fun really at the end of the day. You are getting some good work done here though. come back to warrior two, and then back to the front of the mat. Nice work. If we want to stretch out the inner thighs a bit more and the backs of the hammies a little bit more, we can take a wide angle pose here. So if you get your blocks, put them on the mat, and take your feet out quite wide. Not as wide as your mat, but I would go nearly as wide as my wrists, as my arms are long nearly. Turn the toes to the long end of the mat, hands on the hips. Bend your knees slightly and just fold forwards at the hips. So you get a nice stretch in through the backs of the hamstrings there. You can place your two hands lightly on the two little blocks here, so you're not leaning. Your legs are doing the work. You're just supporting yourself and giving your upper body a little bit of feedback here. This stretch is primarily for the backs of your hamstrings. You'll be feeling it in through the groin as well. Please don't feel it near the knees. If you do, bend your knees slightly. It's perfectly okay to have a little bent knee here. Breathe. That's the main thing. Lengthen your spine. You want to try and get your spine to be parallel to the floor for the moment. Let's take it to the side. Let's take our two blocks over to the left foot and keep them there. Now we're biasing that stretch and making it happen that little bit more there on the right. Sorry, left in your case. And then the same to the opposite side. Blocks go all the way over to the opposite side. And we deepen our breath again. Back to our center line. Bend the knees, walk the feet back up, and we can take our hands into our heart center. That's a handy little stretch out for the day that's in it, so well done, good work on it, and namaste. I'll be back during the year with plenty more.